Okay, here's the back view. You can see the little mechanisms. I've left them open in the back, the viewings from the front, so I can lubricate these from time to time. But all it is pieces of wire and little bits of tube running off these motors down below, and that's all it is. Just making the hands move. Drilling the holes through the body is probably the tricky bit, but that's virtually simple, and you find out from mistakes. It's taken me, I've been at this now for about 6 years, so you make a few mistakes along the way, but you learn and you don't repeat those mistakes, so you find out the right way of doing it, and that's virtually how I've come about doing this. So there's your mechanism. Here's the HO figures on the back of the coach. This is the arm movement that I've got. I haven't glued these in just yet, and there's the little girl. Just holding her, and she can wave her arm too. What I've done with those is put a little piece of wire down and with a drilled hole so I can locate her, and then there's a shaft at the back which is going to work her arm moving, and that will be with the motor and the decoder. So I've got to make the linkages on the inside there, and I'll cover that with black paper so it won't be seen. Here's building the circuits. You've got the voltage regulator, and I've got a surface mount diode here that I'm just soldering in now. I'll work around the camera. There we go. That's the first part. There's only 3 components to this. They'll go with the decoder. So there. So I put the diode in, which is just a protector. Okay, and now you can see how I've got that arranged. So we can put the wires from the motor going to go onto it. So we've got the black wire there and the red wire there, or the blue from the motor, and we'll also put on this the resistor value. Now the resistor value we put in will determine how fast the motor is going to turn. I machine up from some good quality plastic the cramp wheel. It goes onto the motor, and just using some nickel silver wire I make the rod, and on the side I put a piece of shim brass and a piece of brass tube, so that we're going to have the action going horizontally in this case. The just some styrene tube goes over the motor, and a styrene base. I just use super glue to just put all this together. Okay, I'm just going to mount this up into the side and get a hold of it. And a bit of super glue on there. Just using the Loctite. Love it, gel. Use a lot of it. It goes up in there. Now that's ready to start soldering some bits on. These are the crank wheels that I've made up, and the bits of tube to go over the motor, so got a whole stack of them in there ready to go. The resistors that I use, I've got a full range. I start from 4.7 ohms, and in this box it goes up to 180, then I go 200 up to 1000, and 1000 up to 20k. So I've got a full range of these. They're only cheap, so but they're good to have when you're working out your speeds outputs that you want for the animation motion. Here's a trick when you want to put a couple of wires together. I've stripped off this decoder wire, it's only very small stuff. Line them up, give yourself a bit more room on it, put the tweezers onto it, and just twist. I'll work around the camera here. A bit messy there. And you twist it with your tweezers. Now they're hanging together. And move a bit of solder. The iron, always keep the iron tip clean with this small work. Fresh solder all the time. There we go. I've got that. We always trim. I've got two motors here. What the idea is that we need two motors. This out of the road. Driving each of the figures waving their hands, the girl and the man. I'll put this one onto the resistor on this one. And we need to put this one onto this resistor. Camera in front of me is. Bear with me, we'll get there. Bit of fresh solder. Line that up. Okay, so we've got it together. I'll press F1, get the back one going. We'll press F4, and we get the other one going. We've got two different directions. So that's going to be working these figures. These two motors go inside, and we get the guy waving his hand. You can sort of see there. Wait a minute, I'll just probably come in a bit here. And a bit of camera, so there we go. So there he goes, he's going to be waving his hand. Here's the other thing. I've cut the arm off and I've used half the shoulder at the front to put the wire through, and I super glued this wire to the other half of his arm, so that virtually what I've made, there's the arm, the hand comes down, and I've got that shape. I've got that shape there, and then the body of the person, I've cut out the recess there, and the wire goes straight through. And then out the front here, I just soldered the bit of wire that comes through so that I don't get any slack, and it keeps that up. So that's super glued at the back. That's all that's happening there with the figures. You can see it, all that, waving his arm. So I'll get that as a crank.